Well, hello, and welcome to the Dharma Gates podcast. So here I'll be interviewing people with deep experience on topics relevant to the future of Buddhism, young people in the Dharma, opportunities for residential and monastic training in the Buddhist tradition. So in particular, I've become interested in recording a series of interviews with abbots or directors of residential practice communities, so places with strong practice where people can physically go and sit and live or even pursue monastic life. And this is because one of the reasons, the core inspirations for Dharma Gates is to help young people or anyone connect to communities where the training and the practice is strong. And many of these places, in my experience, don't pursue publicity. They're just out there, and so I want to do my best to help people find these really wonderful communities. And so I'm delighted to be joined today by Master Guo Yuan from Dharma Drum Retreat Center, which is absolutely one of these places where, based in my experience in the Zen or Chan tradition, the lineage that Master Guo Yuan is representing is very strong reputation and really well known for their embodiment of the teachings. And so a little bit more context for those who don't know before I move into questions and introduce Master Guo Yuan a little bit further. Dharma Drum is a retreat center located in Pine Bush, New York, and it's a branch of Dharma Drum Mountain. And you're welcome to correct anything if I'm saying anything that's incorrect. But Dharma Drum is a hugely international Buddhist organization based in Taiwan and founded by Master Sheng Yen, with centers all over the world, but several in the States. And I think Dharma Drum Retreat Center is the largest, in my understanding, in the U.S. So to move into a little bit more of Master Guo Yuan's bio and background. In 1985, Guo Yuan Fashi encountered Master Sheng Yen's teaching while attending a 7-day retreat in New York. He became a disciple before leaving his job in Toronto to become a monk in the Chan tradition. Master Guo Yuan ordained in 1987 in Taiwan, and then for 20 years he accompanied and worked as a translator directly with Master Sheng Yen in various Chan retreats around the world. In 1991, he studied Theravada Buddhism for a year in Thailand. Upon his return, Master Guo Yuan Fashi was elected abbot of both the Chan Meditation Center in Queens and the Dharma Drum Retreat Center in Pine Bush, New York. His responsibilities include attending interfaith services, teaching meditation, giving lectures on Buddhism. In 2006, he became the director of the International Chan Retreat Center in Dharma Drum Mountain, Taiwan. In 2016, he returned to Pine Bush to become once again the abbot of DDRC. Fluent in Mandarin, Vietnamese, and English, he leads Chan retreats in many countries around the world. So with that, I want to thank you again for taking a little bit of time to talk to me about the practice and teachings at Dharma Drum. And thank you, and move into questions.
You're welcome. Thank you, Aaron.
Great. Well, the first question I had was, would you mind sharing a little bit of your own personal origins in the practice, and how did you make contact with Master Sheng Yen, and was there any guiding, early inspiration or question that brought you into the practice, or how did that kind of spark begin?
Yeah. It was most of the time, many times people would ask, how did I get encounter with Master Sheng Yen? Well, actually, at that time, it was 1983, I think. In Toronto, we already have a group, Toronto Buddhist Association, and I was one of them to join the society there. And we were looking for a teacher. And at that time, one of our members introduced us to go to attend the retreat with Master Sheng Yen. And also at that time, I did not know much about Buddhism. But since joining the group, maybe it's a good idea to come to see, to join in the retreat. And also, I was encouraged by my brother. He's more senior than I am, so I went. Not knowing much about Buddhism in that sense, and actually, I only learned a little bit about how to sit 1 week before attend the retreat. So actually, you could say that I almost like blank, don't know much about it. So I just came and attend the retreat, and in the retreat itself, for me, although it's like silent for the whole week, I did not feel it is that difficult. And sitting, because I didn't think much about sitting. What is it like? Like I have to sit for so long and things like that. I didn't think about it. So for the whole retreat, I did not feel it is very, very difficult. So that's what happened. And then I found that my teacher, Mr. Sheng Yen, at that time, being a very, very flexible person and full of humor and full of knowledge, in a sense, that I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm more superstitious than him. Because what I think about Buddhism is certain superstitious things that are happening. So at that time, we in the background of Chinese background, so we have some misunderstanding about Buddhism. So I found that he is so knowledgeable and he's so easily approaching. I really give me a very deep impression about him. So that's how I begin, and I start to like it very much, because I was working in Toronto at that time in a telephone company, telecommunication company. And in the workplace, sometimes we encounter certain difficulty in dealing with people, dealing with issues, things like that. And I received quarterly the so-called Chan magazine. Up until now, we still have that. And in it, reading in it, through it, then the so-called affliction that arise in the workplace, it just helped me really, really good in helping me into reading. Okay, let's go. Okay, no attachment, things like that. And I really like it. So that's what happens. And later on, I quit my job and then just come to. At that time was in Queens, the Chan Meditation Center, to follow my teacher, to learn from him and to become a monk. And that's what happened.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm curious, from there, kind of how did your relationship to Master Sheng Yen develop, and are there anything you'd want to share? I think I'd be curious, kind of how do you see him now in retrospect?
Well, at that time, getting there to accompany my teacher, I feel like you could say that I give a lot of trust to him. A lot of trust. That I feel like this person that I could trust. I could tell him everything that I, whatever that, with me. So that is that kind of bond. It's kind of, I don't know. It feel like it's very, very strong bond with him. And in a daily basis, certain times he did not really give me the so-called, okay, you have to study certain thing, you have to go into, what books to read and things like that. He did not give me that. But in life, certain times in life, everyday life, that he will say, okay, try this, I tried that. One time I remember I was staying in the Chan Meditation Center in Queens at that time, and then I did not have good sleep at night. So usually in the morning I woke up and feeling kind of uneasy, and at that time I was sweeping the floor. So I told him that, and then he showed me that how to sweep the floor. It's very simple, but show me in a way that is very useful. That when I'm doing the sweep the floor, then I put my mind to the broom itself, and then looking or find that how I move, how I move my body, how I move the broom, but my mind is there with the broom, and I just tried it right away, and then after finishing the sweeping, I feel more at ease right there. So he did not need to really give a great Dharma talk or something to teach me, but things in life, it is very, very useful for me, and I have a very deep impression about it. I never forget about this, so I could apply it, in things that I do. So that's one thing. Another one is that when I attend the retreat, when we were eating, and then he just saying that, okay, in your eating, you're mindful at eating. How do you mindful of your eating? Is that just feel your jaw, pay attention to how your jaw and how it works. It's very simple. He didn't go into deep detail of whatever that's there, but just there. That is the principle. So I follow it, and then the moment that I was doing it, chewing the food, and then a lot of saliva coming out, I felt, wow, it's so wonderful. I never had this before. I said, at that time I was like 30, 35, 30, 36 or something, years old. And I thought that my whole life, this 35 years, I never had this experience before. So certain thing, it's like this. That's what happened with my teacher.
Yeah, thank you. I'm curious, maybe you could share a little bit about the kind of meditation training that you went through, and what is the kind of curriculum of practice at Dharma Drum, or maybe it's different by person, or it's kind of standardized. Maybe you could share a little bit about what your training was like, and then what it's like generally.
Well, actually, at that time with my teacher, there is no like set curriculum of what you go through and things like that, and then what you should learn. No, didn't have that. But only after 10 years or more than 10 years or so, our teacher developed this Sangha University. Then they have the course, the curriculum. You know, the first year what you do, what you learn, the second year what you learn, and things like that, and the third year and so on like this. But with me personally, no, there's no curriculum. It just follow the teacher and then learn from him. And but still, I learned something. Say, for example, we have this meditation class. So in the beginning, my teacher was giving the meditation class to the public. So I'm just attending. And then I became the assistant. Say he will give lecture, he will give talk, and then I will demonstrate the posture and certain things, you know, like do how to do the exercise, things like that. So I learned from that. And then after a couple of times, he was still doing the, you know, he was still the teacher. I'm the assistant. And somebody suggests that it's time for me to teach, to give the class. And then the teacher said, okay, you do it. So I do it, but I have limited knowledge. Although I learned through him, and these things that he explained in class, I learned from it. I'm not the person who like to take notes, you know, and then study notes. I'm not that kind of person. So what should I do? Anyway, there's some guideline or something that I could take. And then I study a bit, and then I have class. And in class that I taught, student will ask something. Actually, I cannot answer, you know, all of them, you know, because the individual are different. So what I do is that if I don't know, then I'll add the class. I ask the student, what do you think? And then, you know, student will give some idea. Okay, they will do something. They will do something. Actually, you can say that I learn more in the class with students afterward. Of course, I have to meditate. You know, how to sit correctly. That I have to know how to do it. But when it comes to the individual with question that I never learned before, then I have to. I cannot go to my teacher, you know, in the class and say, okay, they asked me like this, and what should I answer? And then for the first class, actually, my teacher will not say anything, but he was like very randomly just staying in the back and watch me without me feeling that he was giving me pressure. So that's something very interesting about my teacher. Doing something very, it's in a way that you don't feel you're like he's opposing you, something like that. It's very interesting. So for me, it's like learning like this, and then of course, because he was giving Dharma talk every Sunday when he's the time that he's in New York. So through these, then I learned something. I learned certain things, and then we also have this Dharma class on Friday when he just returned from Taiwan. And then in there are a lot of this Chan story and the ancient masters, Chan master. So through this, I learned also. And we also, at that time, we also have this this Tuesday night of meditation So this happens every Tuesday night. Unless we have retreat, then there's no sitting, which is open to the public. So I will sit together with everyone in the meditation hall. So this thing, as it go on, then I also learn from it. And what I learned is that in the retreat, because we have to organize the retreat, and then many things that had to do with administration works. So we, for us, we are very busy doing all these things. And then in the retreat, then the lecture is given by the teachers in the morning, and then in the evening, and then we do the meditation, sitting meditation. We do exercise. We do walking meditation. All these things going along, attending so many retreats, then I learned along the way. And in the retreat, I sometimes I will be the translator for the interview time. So through this, then I learned from the teachers that how he was giving advice to students. So those things is like picking up. It's just by the side of the teacher that you pick up these things.
Yeah, thank you. I'm curious. So, if someone comes to Dharma Drum now, what what do they do? How is it different now?
Well, now is now over here we say this Dharma Drum Retreat Center is quite big. We have 7 buildings. One is the big Chan Hall, and then we have the big reception house, and then we have a big dining hall, and then also we have two dorms. So it's only 5, right? And so just to do the maintenance and do the administration work, organizations of the people coming for the retreat, sometimes coming for different activities, we are very, very, very busy. So we actually, because this place is in Pine Bush, is like about 90 miles away from Manhattan. So to have volunteers to help us is not so easy. Although now we hired two chefs to do the cookings, but the other work we still need to do, like the process of registrations before the retreat comes, and then the organization of setting up the town hall and things like that. There are many things to do. So we are lacking of volunteers in that sense. Although we hire some people to help us, but it's not enough. So so what happened in the retreat is that most of the time we just helped the participants make sure that they have they keep warm enough in the place to sleep, make sure that the food is okay, make sure that the sitting arrangement is all right. And then we also have interviews. Now we have different teachers, which they are the students of our teacher, Master Sheng Yen, and so they will help in doing so. So they become a teacher, to guide into in those retreats that we're in. So that's what happens. We are right now. We are lacking in a sense of how to train people here to, if they're interested in coming, how to train them, and then they could learn something from it. We don't have, well, we have some idea of maybe we could do something. We still want to do something, but it is not a form or a set program that is available for them yet, not yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you could share a little bit more about the retreats themselves. And my practice background is partially in Soto Zen, which I think has quite a bit of similarity. But my understanding is that the silent illumination practice is a big kind of part of the meditation kind of curriculum, and there's some element of the sort of koan or investigation work, which I think the word is different in the Chan tradition, but is somewhat similar. And then there's some classical kind of concentration or shamatha practice, but maybe you could correct me about what are the different kind of elements or methods that are used, and how do they fit together as someone comes and wants to really build a Chan practice.
Well, we taught, or we share quite a few methods, and we also put it so that, okay, this is a foundation retreat, say for example, and this is a calming retreat, and this is a Huatou retreat, and then this is a silent illumination retreat. So different retreats that we have. And for the methods, actually, very, very basic one is relaxation first. We put more emphasis on the foundation of being relaxed with a clear mind. So this is first. And then the scanning method of the body. And then we also have this breath method. Breath method, it's to calm your breath and then to follow your breath. And then comes is the just sitting only, right? And then after just sitting is the silent illumination retreat, right? Silent illumination method. And we also have this Huatou, we call it Huatou retreat. And also in one of the retreat, we also have this called Samatha and Vipassana retreat. But right now we don't have any retreat of recitation Buddha's name. Probably you heard about it. So the Huatou retreat is so we don't have the Gong'an retreat, but we have Huatou retreat. Huatou, what's that mean? Is that Huatou means the beginning of a dialogue, or the beginning of a saying, or you could put it even more. Another way is that the beginning of a thought. So that's what I mean. So the Hua Tou, the Tou, referring to the head or the beginning, right? Hua referring to a dialogue, a saying, right? So what exactly is that? That become a method of, we will provide several Hua Tou, and all of them are questioning. It's not just a statement, but it's a question. Say, for example, what is my original face before I was born? Okay. Now, before I was born, referring to not just these parents of this lifetime that they give birth to you, but before, many times before. So what is that? What is original face? So that could be very, very intriguing, It's very interesting in a way. What exactly is that? And then another question is that, who is dragging this corpse around? This body of us is a corpse, right? But who is dragging it? So that is another one. And then the most recommended one is this one, is called, what is Wu? Now this word Wu is, in Chinese, means nothingness. What is it? So again, as you see it, they are all questioning. And in using of this method in meditation, you are not supposed to use your dialogue. You're not supposed to use your language. You're not supposed to use your logical thinking. So again, you would think, so how could I do it? And exactly because of that, then you would just feel like, how, what? This kind of feeling you will have in your mind, and you have to carry on with this, and you're not supposed to use logical thinking. All right, so that is something about the Hua Tou method. And then, of course, probably you heard about the silent illumination method. Silence, you're quiet, you calm, you relax, and then illumination means your mind is clear. A clear mind and a calm mind, right? But because of this calm and clear, you have to practice so that it go deeper. In the beginning, we just use this so-called just sitting only. In Japanese, it's called shikantaza, right? Just sitting. So you sit with your body. You know that you sit. So that's the method. And of course, the other one called the breath method. So as you heard, I go along. There are already quite many methods already, and then also people use the reciting Buddha's name method. So how many methods are there? and then when our teacher was having retreat, he will not have this so-called, this is the Hua Tou retreat, this is a silent illumination retreat, this is a breathing method retreat. No, he could teach everyone, different students different methods, you know. But now we develop in this situation right now is that we will go with different retreats. We would say, okay, this is a silent illumination retreat, this is a Huato retreat, and this is like a calming and calming the mind retreat, something like that, or a foundation retreat. So that's what we are functioning right now.
Great. Yeah. So in your bio, I noticed it said you spent a year studying Theravada Buddhism in Asia, and I'm curious, how do you hold the differences and similarities between the Chan and Theravada perspective, and does that continue to inform your practice and the practice at Dharma Drum? And yeah, do you think they're kind of generally doing the same thing, or are they going slightly different different directions?
Well, formality, I think it's different because different teaching go to different countries, and it will adapt to the culture of that country. So in that way, is say for example, we'll do the prostration slightly different with the Theravadan tradition, and then also different with the Tibetan tradition, and then even with the same Mahayana, Mahayana teachings, then we do prostration slightly different with the Japanese and the Korean and the Vietnamese way. So in that sense, in the outlook, it's different, right? But when I came to Theravada, then the certain thing that they emphasize on, and whatever that we emphasize on, is also the difference, right? And now, yes, you see it. Even the dress is different. So it's just the outlook of it is different. But when it comes to the teaching itself, then it depends on what is it that we emphasize on. But for the basic one, I think it's the same. The talking about this impermanent, the suffering, and also the causes and condition, and causes and results, and condition arising. They are more or less the same. And even the eighth form, the eight noble truths, right? The basic one is very different. What is it that is different is that the so-called motivation in here. One is called the Mahayana mindset, and then the other one is called the Theravadan mindset. Because in Thailand, I went to, they are very much, lay people are very much supportive of the monastic who practice, and whoever that it practice deeper and deeper even in the forest, they will just really want to support them, making offering to them, and certain time they emphasize on the so-called solitary practice, just in the wood, in the forest. In there you practice, right, until you have some fulfillment, right? While in the Chinese tradition, we practice in a group. they practice together. Like in the retreat we have, we always, listen to the Dharma. Everybody listen to the Dharma, and everybody sitting together and eating together. And you have to be, you have to follow the schedule. Everyone, in a group, practice in a group. So we don't have our own, say, guti, hut to practice, and then to do walking meditation, with your own path there, you walk back and forth. We don't have that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just a slightly different orientation or outlook and form in a way. So maybe we can move back to sort of the getting involved with Dharma Drum, and I was interested in, it does look like there's a volunteer program, so people can stay longer term and help out. And what does that look like? Is that something that's still offered, and what is the life like in the volunteer program if someone was to do that?
Well, actually, for volunteers, is that they could go by short term and then also long term. If it is long term, then we will, in the beginning of checking out all the requirements, is person trustworthy and things like that. Long term, we put more time in preview of this person. Short term is that, like, they could do just a few days, or even 1 week or so, then that they come. And over here is, since we have a big place, so there actually there's a lot to do. They could work in the field just by picking up the branches that fall down. That could be a job for them. And then, because we have so many buildings, so certain thing that is actually certain job that actually we need some kind of handyman to really handle these things. So they have a lot of work to do, and then preparation before the retreat, set up cushions, and then set up all the paper, the post, schedule, whatever, and helping to do all the, you could say that, preparation work before retreat. And then after retreat, we also need to tidy up things, clean up things, all these things. There's many things to do. So volunteer here is, and sometimes it depends on a person's ability. Sometimes we need a lot of work in the computer area also. And we also do some transcribing work of the talk by the teachers, and then the talk of my teacher before. So they could do this part as well. So various things that they could really do in here. And then living in here, because this place is a very peaceful place, and we don't have that many people, so that the interaction with people will be less. So quite some people would like the environment where they could be quiet, they could be more released or relaxed in a short time. So that's what we offer for the place. And of course, the teaching is that, since they follow the schedule here, they have morning sitting, evening sitting, and then morning service and evening service. And then after meal, then they help out with the kitchen to clean up, and then do the daily chores here. And then we have this this group study together once a week, so they could learn some Dharma there.
And would the volunteers be able to participate in the retreats if they wanted to?
Well, yes, they could attend the retreat. Yeah, sure.
So my understanding is it's about, on the website it said about 5 hours a day of work, and then there's kind of a daily schedule of sitting and the sort of other parts of the schedule you mentioned, and then in the retreats people would actually be practicing with everybody else mostly. Is that about right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a strong offering. I mean, there's a lot of retreats at Dharma Drum. So I think um, if I wasn't doing this, I would consider it. I have to work, but it's a really wonderful opportunity. Uh, and maybe you could share a little bit about. So I was looking around. I've had some thoughts of ordaining at some point, maybe not immediately, but and I was considering Dharma Drum in general, but I wasn't sure how it works. So if someone is let's say a Westerner from the US, speak English, uh, how would it work if they wanted to pursue monastic life in the Dharma Drum lineage? Is it possible, or is it difficult? Maybe you have to learn Mandarin. Maybe that's possible, but maybe you could share a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, is the age limit, right? We have the age limit of 42 for male, 42, something like that. Because if you're more advanced in age, then to learn something that a different style of lifestyles, it's difficult. And to train to be a monastic, it takes longer time. Say for certain other religions, maybe 3 years is enough for them. They could come and then they could share the Dharma or the teachings. But for the Buddhism, it's like 3 years is not enough, because just learning how to meditate correctly or appropriately and you need to know how to use your method, it takes more time. It's not just 3 years, right? So first of all, it's the age limit, and then if someone is interested in coming to here to live a left home or become a monastic, then this place here is, since it's in America, and most of the time the classes going on is in English. But if they really want to be a monastic, after certain time that they stay here, they will be sent to Taiwan, a headquarters, right, in Taiwan. And then over there, you could say all of the activities are in Mandarin. But they still have someone that speak English in Taiwan. And somehow we don't have this facility here that a complete training in English only. No, we don't have that. So somehow, if they're suitable for this life here in the DDRC, they'll be sent to Taiwan and to live within the community of monastics. Not like here that we only have 3 or 4 people, but over there we have the school, we have the college, and then they learn from there. But the only thing is that now is the language. We have we also have someone tutoring personally to learn Chinese, but I don't think that's enough. In these few years that you stay there, just barely or something, just barely, speak a little bit. But if you want to go, more into it, then there's another story.
So it sounds like it would be an option for someone who already spoke Mandarin. It would be not as difficult, but you would need to learn Mandarin otherwise, which is
Right.
it's quite a big job. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing is that there are things that concerning the monastic life, the Vinayas. And to be a monastics, then I don't know nowadays, do they have this available in English? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure, but I think, is it possible for the Plum Village tradition, interbeing tradition? Do they have that? Because they have quite a lot of Western monastics. Do they have this?
I think they have a Vinaya that's been translated. And I know the city of 10,000 Buddhas. They do the other Chan school, but I don't know which Vinaya exactly you all follow.
It's not. It is not just the Vinaya, but the Vinaya is the guiding books. But I'm talking about all these the rituals.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
You
Those
know
might not be
how
translated.
to do this and how to do this and certain things. Not just Vinaya. Vinaya is the books that certain precept that you have to keep. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Well, it sounds like if somebody was really really interested and they knew Mandarin already, then it would be a possible option. And there are quite a few people who know Mandarin.
Another thing about this is that because nowadays in English, the book that is available now is already quite a lot English. But if you really want to go deeper into the teaching itself, you need to learn until you could read sutra in Chinese, because it's direct understanding through these to Chinese rather than it's through translation. And the translation is always like, something is been omitted after translation. So that is why the language is important here. I once read some books in English about this gateless gate. You heard about it, right? And when I look at it in Chinese and then we look at it in English is especially the poems that they translate. Certain place here and there, they're missing something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very difficult, the translation
Yeah.
work. Yeah. Well, maybe I want to wrap up in just a few minutes because we're at the hour, but you could maybe share a little bit about. So I've applied for a retreat at Dharma Drum in the past. I didn't end up going; it didn't quite line up, but I know you offer a scholarship program where people can come and work for a day or two beforehand or afterward, and cover some or all of the cost of the retreat. And is that still true? And how does that program work?
Yeah, we still have that. First of all, is the applicant, they will apply and then they will check for, okay, I would like to apply for the scholarship. How much, how many percent of the whole amount of the retreat, and then if it's granted, then they will come.
Oh. Hello. Oh,
Are you still here? Okay, I'm
I'm here.
sorry.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so so they could stay. They could come 1 or 2 days earlier, or they stay 1 or 2 days afterward. It depends on their available time. So that's how it works.
Great. It's good to know because I know a lot of younger people or people in general are interested in practicing deeply, going on retreat as much as they can, or and I think the cost can be quite prohibitive when the retreats end up costing a lot. So the ability to come and help out in exchange for practice is really really valuable, and I don't think people always know that it's possible.
Oh yeah, yes, we offer that.
Mm. So I think I have one last question before we kind of wrap up, which is, do you have any advice for young people now in general, maybe people who are just graduating from college and considering what to do next, how to start a life? They're thinking about practice, or they're considering the possibility of doing some retreats or something like that. What do you think would be important for them to hear?
Well, actually, it's time for them to explore. There are many fields that they could explore. It's not just the spiritual part, but spiritual part is very important to their life. If they could in touch with it in the early age, it's even better. And for nowadays, if you don't know where you're going to, well, the thing is that doing something or heading for something that is of benefit to the other people, that open up your gate, open up your mind. Once you have that idea, then it's possible that you will know where to go to, right? And then for the spiritual path, it's also a good idea that you explore in your younger age, know more about it. They are valuable tradition that you could really follow, and that definitely will help you in your future life. I mean, in your future, this lifetime.
Maybe in your future lives too.
Sure.
Well, is there anything else that feels relevant to share in the last moments? And maybe also, is there any other way that people might get involved with DDRC that we haven't already talked about?
Yeah, just visit our website. Know more about us, and then if you're interested, they could come and join us.
Great. And there's also a branch in Queens, as you mentioned before. So you're in New York City as well.
Yes. This place is put more emphasis on the Chan retreat meditation. So you can see that almost 90% of the activities are in sitting meditation, walking meditation in the retreat itself.
Great. Yeah. Great. Well, I want to thank you again so much for your time and for sharing your wisdom and thoughts and experiences with Master Sheng Yen. It's really wonderful to hear these stories, and yeah, that's all. We might wrap up here.
You're welcome.
Great.
Okay.